Well, welcome back on a Monday evening. Excitement level is very high right now. The original home for sprint car racing on iRacing. The very first points-paying league with wing sprint cars. Bringing them home. Bringing the 360s back. Putting them on track. And what a better place to do it than at the World Center of Sprint Car Racing, the Knoxville Speedway. Perfectly lining up the stars. I think that's what we're doing. If you missed the first show, the Big Block show, you missed an awesome season opener. We expect every bit as much the season opener right here with these 360s. 24 drivers have checked in. A lot of the old guard back in the house. And speaking of number one in your hearts, Tiny Dancer, I don't see the 118 out here. Oh, I do. He's sixth in the field right now. He's right there. We're going to look at some of the old guard. That is Whiskers, the 91 of Ernie Williams. Little Hurricane. He's driving the 22. He's number one on your scoring pylon. Mason Hannigan. Ryan Scheidt in the 10 car back in action with us. Tyler Schell also back in action. Trevor Royer in the 90. We saw him last week with the Mighty Midgets over there, and he's right there by Casey Miller. Casey Miller crawling back under the wing, getting things going. Craig Silby, the Kiwi Conqueror, is here. There's old Tiny Dancer right there. That 118 car. Chad Griggs. Miles Jansen back in the field. The Okie from Oh My God right there. Scott Thomason in the 6 car. Love having Scott in here. Matt Westfall, we saw him in the first show. He's in the house tonight. Jay Schaff, newcomer to the series. We'll show you newcomer driving that Kyle Larson throwback car. Larry Moody, the old guard again. Dean Reynolds raced here at one point, left for a while, and now that we're back racing sprint cars, it looks like Dean Reynolds is going to be back amongst those here at DSRL. The 21 of Garrett Boyd. Jesse Bandy. I haven't seen Bandy get on the track yet. I do see Tyler Schell, though. There's Gumby. Should be a pretty good race. A lot of heavy hitters in here. A lot of big-time sprint car guys back at it. They've got their full 5 minutes of practice. If race control decides that's what they want to do. Here we go. There come the fans of the Tiny Dancer. The poor man's Elton John, Scott King. I can't believe that nickname has stuck around this long. Here's a newcomer over here at DSRL. We see him every Thursday night with the Mighty Midgets. And that is Billy Barros. Coming over to run some big boy cars with us. Happy to have him. And then Jesse Bandy is rolling out here. There goes Bandy down into 3 and 4. Some new faces, some old faces. And we'll look at the 91 car when we say some weathered and worn faces, because I've met that guy in person, and wow, has he got a face for radio. Well, we love Ernie. We love old Whiskers. It's good to see him back. Here's Travis Johnson, a big block in UMP series champion at DSRL, having his go in the wing sprint cars. Richie Gaines is in here. Braden Eiler, the high side hustler, back at DSRL. Jessup Logistics Wicked Brands number 5. Catch Fence Apparel also on that car. Chad Griggs, he is parked in the pits. I don't know if we can. There we go. There's Chad Griggs' car. Scott Thomason Racing entry. And Anthony Morano, you just saw him a little bit ago pick up the win, the big blocks up at Oswego to open up Monday Night Thunder. Going to give it a go over here in the sprint cars as well. So we should have a good one. We got 23 cars, 22 of them are going to make it to the feature. And we wish that we could alter that number when we have a field like this, because it really just sucks out loud to send one driver home. For those who do not know, we have a full week this week, and it gets fuller next week. This is our second show tonight. We will have ERA tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern. Wednesday night, 8:30 Eastern. Midwest Truck Series. Those guys are going to be on the road course at Watkins Glen. But their first official show with us will be a road course show with the Craftsman Trucks. And then Thursday night, the doubleheader for the Mighty Midgets as they kick off the 2024 D season. And when we roll around and start the new week, it is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, every night of the week. 7 shows in 5 nights as Mars makes their return to kick the week off. We had done some talking with Chad Griggs and the group over at Scott Thomason Racing. They wanted to do a 410 series on Sunday nights, and I'm trying to convince them that the late slot is the way to go if they want to be on DRN. So we'll see if that works out or not. Still negotiating a little bit. But we're getting down to the end of the practice session. Hello, Deb. Just in time to see the Tiny Dancer. Get going here. They're going to random draw. They drew pills for their heat race starting positions. We want to say some thank yous. Jess and Jim Steakhouse, Rockin' K Logistics, Tommy Brandon and the School of Sim Racing for providing setups for all these guys to work from if they don't have their own. Scott King Designs, Digital Sim Sports Network, Tim Sims, Admin Box, everybody that's helping get DSRL back to where it should be. And I think bringing sprint cars back home should do that for us. Been a long time. The sprint car scene at iRacing was very sporadic and very broken, and it just wasn't a good show to watch. The guys complained about the cars on the tracks, and now they've done some things to try to help, and they have made it better. It is not fixed, but it is a lot better than it was, and that is a big deal for us. So we are going to get ready. Get down here to the grid and show you the lineup for Heat 1 of 3. On the pole, the 25 of Travis Johnson. On his outside in the 21. That'll be Garrett Boyd. Row 2 to the inside, the 32 of Anthony Morano. Next to the 12 of Tom Ostendorf. And then you'll see your third row, the 05, Casey Miller, making his return to DSRL and into the 360s. Next to the 73 of Larry Mooney. And your back row on the inside, the King Conqueror in the 7, Craig Silby. And he'll have Billy Barros, a newcomer to DSRL, on his right. I think we have an EOL request. I think you're going to see Travis Johnson take that 25 Modfather machine all the way to the back. And that'll put Anthony Morano and Garrett Boyd. These two battled it out in the big blocks just about a half hour ago. Finished 1-2 in that season opener. And they will be on the front row to open up the season and bring back the 360 Wing Sprint Cars to Dirt Slingers Racing League. Casey Miller. Right here. That car for Craig Silby, although black and white, I don't think we're going to be able to miss that anywhere. Looks like some kind of weird, I don't know what you call that, but man, that thing is going to stand out even in black and white. Be able to see it on the track, be able to see it no matter where he's at. So we're going to get ready. Morano taking the pole with the EOL request from Travis Johnson. Pace truck getting out of the way when they get to the opening right there. We should get a green flag, and there we go. Green flag, heat one. 360s are back at Dirt Slingers. Miller's going to slide through off that bottom, take second away, break the momentum of Boyd. That means Silby's going to have a run. He throws it down the middle of 3 and 4. 2 by 2 behind the leader, 2 rows deep right there. Ostendorf up the inside, jumps over the left rear of Silby. Silby's car, her Ostendorf completely destroyed down the backstretch. Morano way out in front. Boyd now trying to take second back from Miller. No cautions in the heat race, which is surprising because I thought those were on. But, hey, not going to hurt anything. Maybe because no one faced backwards. Now we have a caution as TJ, Travis Johnson, is going to have us a problem here in that 25 machine. Oh, and he and Craig Silby are going to get together, and Craig Silby's night is just starting poorly. I think that car might have gotten a little bit hurt in that first incident there. And I think that was just 2 cars that were just in the same real estate at the same moment. I don't know that necessarily anybody did anything wrong. Silby was kind of there, and Ostendorf just kind of drifted a little further than maybe he meant to. Touched that left rear. Open wheel cars do not like that when you touch the tires together, and you're going to go for a ride every single time. So we'll get ready to line them back up. We still got 8 laps to go in this first heat. Morano, Boyd, Miller, Moody, Barros, and then Johnson, Ostendorf, and Silby are off track. So 5 of our 8 going to finish this heat. Everybody else is going to have to go through that LCQ where we're going to eliminate 1 driver. These 5 will definitely make their way to the A main. They will be locked in. And we're probably going to have about 8 or 9 cars racing for 7 or 8 spots at the end. It looks like Travis Johnson is going to be able to roll back out. I don't know that that car was all that hurt, but we should be on 1 to go. Yeah, it looks like the lights are off on the pace car. Pace truck, I should say. He'll get himself out of the way right here in 3 and 4. We'll get a restart from Morano. He jumps on the throttle. Boyd right behind. Miller tucked in behind him. Larry Moody up to the 4th spot. Casey Miller looks like he has got a little bit of a loose race car coming through turn 2. Able to stay with Boyd. Larry Moody, though, he is working a different line than these guys. Here comes Billy Barros. Oh, Miller got out of shape, and he got Barros. Barros got Johnson. We're going to get shifted up. Yeah. Travis Johnson's going to get into something that really probably wasn't his fault. Miller got a little out of shape. Barros could not react to that. I don't think there was anything he could do at all. So a little bit of a rough beginning here, but bring new faces and new drivers together. Sometimes you get growing pains, and we're doing that right now. I think we got one full lap in right there. We still got 5 to go in our first heat. Wild that both of our admins are in the same race, but that always seems to happen in league races. So we're going to have 4 guys out here: Morano, Boyd, Moody, and Barros. Johnson scored in 5th. That car heavily damaged. Casey Miller heavily damaged. Tom Ostendorf heavily damaged, and Craig Silby heavily damaged as well. All those guys will be in the LCQ here after heat racing action's over. We should be ready with the 1 to go. Pace truck looks like he's going to dodge out of the way right here. And once again, Anthony Morano is going to get us started. 4 laps to go. The battle will be right here for second. Morano has them covered easily, has the entire heat race. Moody now going to go in. Thought about the short slider. Moved Boyd up to the fluff, and Boyd is going to try to hang on, but I think Moody did exactly what he wanted to. He got Boyd to get out of the throttle momentarily, give him the momentum to clear, and now he's going to run second, going to try to close up almost 9/10 of a second on Morano. If he can, it's over a second now at the line. Boyd is third. Barros hanging on back here in fourth. All those guys transferring straight to the feature. And they'll take Travis Johnson with them. The white flag out on heat 1. Morano way out in front. Make it almost a full second right here. He goes to the bottom through 3 and 4. He caught a little bit of that berm right there, but he's still going to get the win. Moody second. Boyd in third. Barros fourth. Johnson will pick up the final transfer spot, being scored in 5th. Miller, Silby, and Ostendorf will be in the LCQ. And now we'll move on, get ready for heat number 2. This is how we'll start him. Be the Ohio Hombre, the 54 of Matt Westfall on the pole, and he'll have the 03 of Jay Schaff on his outside. Chad Griggs in the 27, row 2 to the inside next to the 85 of Old Gumby, Tyler Schell. Trevor Royer, multi-time DSRL sprint car champion. In the 90 starts row 3 to the inside with the 11 of Richie Gaines on his outside. And your final row for heat 2, the 79 of Dean Reynolds inside. And Ernie Whiskers Williams in the 91 on the outside. Drivers rolling them out of the pits. Get a look at the 91. I haven't seen that bright yellow machine in a minute. It's good to see Ernie Williams back in the group. They're starting deep. Top 5 automatically transfer to the feature. Everybody else will go through the LCQ. Only one car will be eliminated this evening, and if we could change that, I promise you we would change it and put everybody in the feature. "10 weeks. 10 solid weeks. On Monday Night Thunder of big block modifieds and 360 wing sprint cars, we'll have champions at the end. Only 1 week off. We're going to take the first week of December off. Hopefully that special event comes together, and we'll have some fun racing for everybody to watch as they try to put the Triple Crown Showdown back together. But our pace truck will get out of the way. Matt Westfall looking to get us started with Jay Schaff on the outside of that row with him.
Green flag.
I think in real life they probably throw the yellow flag because that was kind of a wonky start, but we're going to keep it going. Here comes Griggs. He moves up to second. Trevor Royer in the 90. Hunt in the bottom trying to take third away from Schaff, and he had it momentarily. Now across the nose of Schaff goes Griggs. Here on the high side comes Shell. He's going to battle Royer. Williams working his way around into the 6th spot. He follows Tyler Shell. Now Chad Griggs going to go for the lead. Moves to the inside of Matt Westfall. Into 3 and 4 with the slider. Griggs way out in front. Westfall fighting back, but Griggs leads that lap. Westfall will put slider to the top. Griggs cuts under. Here comes Jay Schaff. He's going to try to take second away from Westfall. Trevor Royer is up to 4th. Ernie Williams is working on 5th, trying to use the high side to get around Gumby. Royer up on the cushion, didn't slow him down a bit. He passes Schaff. Williams goes with him. So Griggs, Westfall, Royer, Williams 1 through 4. Schaff currently 5th, but that battle not over as Tyler Shell on the bottom. And I thought Shell was going to go slider line, and he just kept it locked in down there against the berm. There goes Royer working on Westfall. Short slider, little contact, more contact. Oh, big wreck.
All right, man, caution is out. Caution is out.
That's a big wreck. And this starts with that contact right there, and it moves Westfall to the bottom, and Shell was there. Westfall touches Shell and goes flying to the outside, and he collects Ernie Williams, and both of those cars hooked and back to the pits. That is unfortunate. They will both be going through the LCQ. Shell was on the bottom. He's got no way to see that Westfall is coming down there, and there was nothing he could do about it anyway. He was locked in on the berm. Westfall got a tap from Royer as Royer went across his nose, and the push bar on the back of Royer's car made a little bit of contact with the front bumper of Westfall's car, and it just completely took any grip that Westfall had and took it away, and that car shot to the inside, and mayhem ensued. So, now get them lined up. Light still on the pace truck. Pieces and parts of a car, I think, are still stuck in the front stretch. Griggs, Royer, Schaff, Shell at Gaines, the top 5. Dean Reynolds is 6th right now. Westfall and Williams off in the pits, and I know we'll see both of those guys back in the B main. We got one more heat race after this one. Lights off on the pace truck. We're getting ready to go back to the green flag. Just 3 laps remaining. Griggs ready to jump on the loud pedal, coming out of 4. Out in front. He got a good start. Royer, a little bit asleep at the wheel. Schaff tucked in behind. There goes Shell to the bottom. Tyler Shell up to 3rd, still looking for spaces. Now might lose that spot back to Schaff as he thought about the slider. Had to wait for the car. And it did not hold up through 3 and 4, but he might be able to get it back, and he does down the backstretch. White flag coming out this time. Royer closing in on Griggs. Will he go for the slider? Yes, he will. Goes in flat and short, comes out wide. Big run for Griggs down the backstretch. Royer is going to go in. He's probably going to cut the car down quickly right here. Griggs tried to hold him out. They make contact. Griggs hangs on. Royer second. Shell was third. Gaines, Schaff, and Reynolds. Reynolds, Westfall, and Williams will all be in. Your B main, your last chance qualifier tonight. Everybody else made the transfer through. So we'll get ready. Get down here for the lineup and the grid. For our final heat race of the evening, it is the Highside Hustler Braden Eiler on the pole, and he's got the 35 of Miles Jansen beside him. The 22 of Mason Hannigan, a little Hurricane, a row 2 to the inside with the 118 of the Tiny Dancer Scott King. Your third row is the 6 of Scott Thomason inside, Jesse Bandy in the 49 on the outside, and back row Charlie in this one. In the 10 car, Ryan Scheid. Everybody's about to roll off. There they go. Couple quick pace laps. You guys will learn where the start line is. Get a good look at the track. They can see where the slick lines are. They can see where there's going to be some grip. Figure out where they want to run if they can get to that line. Next time out of 4. Final heat race on opening night, bringing the 360s back where they belong. Then we do our last chance qualifier. Unfortunately, we will eliminate one driver. I wish that we had the ability to make that change where we could include, if it's only 24 guys, we could include them all. All right, final heat race about to go under the green flag. There goes the pace truck. Braden Eiler on the throttle. Man, was Jansen asleep. The rust really showing on driver 35 tonight. But Hannigan's going to go right after Eiler. Hannigan went to the bottom. He pulls alongside. Can Mason Hannigan grab the lead? Eiler is going to lead lap 1 in heat 3. Everybody's at the top except for that red car on the bottom right there. Mason Hannigan. Good showing last week when he raced with the Midget Series. He leads lap number 2 of heat 3. Now Eiler comes to the bottom. These two going to make a little contact. That's going to slow Eiler. Jansen's going to go by on the high side. Eiler back to third. Here comes Scheit. Here comes Bandy. King and Thomason. Rounding out the field right now, but Hannigan has the lead. Eiler still in a transfer spot. So is Scheit, but King is right on him. Everybody made it back to Hannigan now. Hannigan had a pretty good gap. He must have made a mistake when we had the camera pointed elsewhere, because now the field right back to him is Jansen out of 2. Had a good run. Bandy had the spot, and Jansen drove by him on the top side. Braden Eiler going back to the bottom here. Pulls alongside of Bandy. Eiler trying to keep it locked in low. Hannigan doing a very good job down on the bottom. Really the only car making the bottom work to perfection, and I don't know if it's doing it anymore. He may be losing some ground because Jansen is closing in as we come to 3 to go. He's got it within about 2 car lengths. Eiler swaps lines. He goes to the top side. Ryan Scheit got there and got around him, so now he's going to get in a slider battle for the final transfer position. Jansen is almost there, coming to 2 to go, and he'll pull alongside. He'll lead this lap. Miles Jansen all the way at the top of the racetrack. Hannigan goes in, is going to slide across. Jansen with a quick tap of the brakes, cuts underneath. They'll come to the white flag side by side. Hannigan got to go to run out of the top of 2. Jansen was stuck in the slick. He has to slide in line. Out of 4. Mason Hannigan wins heat 3. Jansen second. Eiler comes up for third. Scheit in fourth. Bandy coasts across the line in fifth. He ran out of fuel. King and Thomason rounding things out. So 15 drivers locked in. We're looking for 7 more out of 8 cars. 11. Maybe they only transferred 4. Wouldn't that be a kick in the head? Last chance qualifier. It's 12 laps, if I'm not mistaken. It's Casey Miller and Jace Schaff on the front row with Jesse Bandy and Travis Johnson in row 2. Dean Reynolds and Scott King in row 3. Craig Silby and Matt Westphal in row number 4. Scott Thomason, Tom Ostendorf, row 5, and Ernie Williams will be on the back. 10 of these 11 cars are transferring through to tonight's 30-lap A main. We're missing one driver. There he is. Tiny Dancer. I'm sure he had to change his fuel level for this. Oh, shoot. We didn't change the thing, did we? We've been all night messed up, haven't we? Didn't even see that till just now. Sorry about that, folks. That can't be right. This is supposed to be a 12-lap race. Well, we're going to catch heck for that. We're supposed to be a 12-lap race, not 3. That's not going to go over well. We completely understand. Hopefully it changes when we get the green flag on ours, because sometimes we do get funky numbers. Coming around for the green. It looks like we only have 10. I don't know who didn't make the start, but somebody, it looks like, missed the start. Maybe Ostendorf. We're not exactly sure, but they're going to run it for 3 laps. This is crazy. It's supposed to be a 12-lap race. Nothing in this format has changed in a number of years. We'll go back here and look. That is Ostendorf at the back. That's a pretty wild deal, because everything was checked out Sunday night and it was fine. A quick LCQ. We're going to apologize to all the fans and the drivers right now, because this was supposed to be a 12-lap race. Somehow something got swapped out, and that's not very good. Guys, still going around. I don't think that's correct. Yeah, maybe it is. That is crazy. Had to send a message to race control about that. We need to double check that and see what the heck was going on there, because we've used that same format for a number of years here. We'll give them some time in a warm-up session. We don't have anybody to talk to, unfortunately. We wish we did. Give you guys some good looks at some of the cameras around the speedway. We know the field is set. We're pretty sure that maybe Austin Dorf was the one that got knocked out. We're very, very sad by that, but we should have had 12 laps for him to have a chance to get in there. I don't know if we're going to give it all to him or not. Sending a message to the admins about the time on warm-up and checking the race format. Just making sure on all the channels that they got it. So very strange, very weird that would change without us doing anything. Because we have used this very same format for a number of years. Even left it alone when we didn't run sprint cars. So it should have been the same. Should not have changed. They've got 30 laps tonight in the feature. There's the Okie from Oh My God right there. Like old Scotty, we give him a pretty hard time, but he's a pretty good sport about it. Scott Thomason Racing. Loves his sprint cars. Sure, he has a lot of people checking him out, watching him tonight. I know they're over there chatting. Anthony Morano right behind him out there on the track. Morano had a good showing in his heat race for sure. We saw Chad Griggs in his heat race have some success. Good to see Richie Gaines. Gaines comes and races over at the Mighty Midgets on Thursday nights. Makes the trek up here, brings the big car. And it looks like Casey Miller is the car that got knocked out tonight. Unfortunate for Casey. Really like Casey. PRO. He is a 360 sprint car champion over there in a different series. And we'll see if Hannigan can get the 22 car into victory lane. He had a good showing at the Mini Nationals with Netcode Esports guys. led the first feature on prelim night until about 4 or 5 to go, and then really battled back very well in the second night feature. And made a good run to try to catch the eventual champion, Cody Parmley. Takes the car into the pits. He is going to get ready to be done. There's old Matt Westfall. Had a little bad luck in his heat race, but he is going to make the feature tonight. We're going to get to see Matt this Saturday. Going to be a decided line at the top. There probably will be something at the bottom near the end of this thing. That is the typical way this track works through the feature. You'll go through the first half and you'll have to move around in search of maybe go to the top. Then with about 8 or 9 laps to go, you're going to move to the bottom and come forward very quickly. "22 drivers making the start. Oh. I think Tyler Shell and Braden Eiler are just having a little fun with one another. Session has been advanced. That means it is feature time. "30 laps. We'll get ready to grid them out. So let's show you how they're going to line up. It's going to be the 32 of Anthony Morano alongside the 27 of Chad Griggs. The 22 of Mason Hannigan inside row number 2 with Larry Moody in the 73 on his outside. Trevor Royer in the 90 occupies the inside of the third row with Miles Jansen, the 35 to his right. Your fourth row on the inside, that's the 21 of Garrett Boyd, and on the outside, the 85 of Tyler Shell. The 5, Braden Eiler, row 5 inside next to the 38 of Billy Barros. We move to the 6th row and find the 11 of Richie Gaines inside, and Ryan Scheidt in the 10 on his outside. Jay Schaff starts the 03 car inside of row number 7. He'll have Jesse Bandy in the 49 to his outside. The inside of row number 8 is the 25 of Travis Johnson. 79 of Dean Reynolds on the outside of that row. Craig Silby will start way in the back of this thing. Row 9 next to the 118 of Scott King, and that is row 9. Row 10, the 54 of Matt Westfall. And the 91 of Ernie Williams. And our final row for the first feature of 360s back at DSRL Monday Night Thunder, the 6 of Scott Thomason inside, the 12 of Tom Ostendorf on the outside. They have 30 green flag laps on the board. The international home of sprint car racing. One of the most famous sprint car racing tracks anywhere. Hosting the return to the original home of sprint car racing on iRacing. That's what gave us our start here Dirt Racing Network. These guys had about 5 or 6 seasons underneath their belt. Regular broadcaster was getting ready to retire, so we just decided we would start this thing up and cover these guys. And it has been one of the best decisions we've ever made. Pace truck out of the way. Time for the Thunder and the Lightning on Monday Night Thunder. Green flag in the air. We're underway. Good start from Morano. We're going to look back about 5th, 6th, 7th right here. That is a gaggle of cars, 3 wide. Boyd's in the middle between Jansen and Eiler. Eiler going to go around him. So is Jansen, and that's going to move him back. He's going to have Ryan Scheidt on the inside now, back here just a little bit. Tyler Schell squirting past. Put Schell up to the 8th spot. Long race, a lot of laps. These guys get through these first handful. Things start to work themselves out. You'll know who you're going to be racing around. Boyd hanging on there in the 10th spot. Richie Gaines, Jesse Bandy right behind him. Cars moving around in front of him. That's Schell, Jansen, Scheidt. They're all trying to catch Larry Moody, who's right up there in the 6th spot. Go back to the front because Morano's got company. He's on the bottom. Eiler down on the bottom trying to take a spot from Hannigan. Hannigan just too much run down the front stretch. He may get them both if he gets that run down the back stretch.
All right, man.
Caution for the first time. Tyler Schell is going to have a problem. I don't know if he was the problem or if he just got caught up in, he and Miles Jansen. They touch, and he goes into the fence, and he's going to go for an ugly ride. Wings off. I'm not sure if the left front tire stayed on it or not. Yep, Jansen went down in there, and the right rear and the left front came together, and we've talked about it earlier. You cannot put tire on tire in one of these cars. They do not like it one bit. They will flip, tumble. You might even go out of the park. So Ossendorf, Thomason off track as they have problems. Schell has a problem. Ossendorf has some repair on the car. Front wing is missing. I don't know how dangerous that is. Miles Jansen also on pit road. I think he maybe broke his suspension. So race 1. All the guys coming back together. And I don't think anybody really did a whole lot wrong right there. I think Jansen was trying to get in the corner. The car maybe slid just a little bit further out to the right than he thought it was going to. Schell was trying to run a very tight line to the inside. Touch, a tap. Bad news. Is Tyler Schell back on track? No, he is not. So we'll get down here. We'll take a peek. Looks like the lights are off on the pace car. I'm not convinced that's true. They are off. Good look from that camera angle. Everybody will tighten up. We'll get ready to go back to it. 25 laps remain. It'll be 24 when we get to the line. So we got about 6 laps into this thing.
Green, green, green.
25 to go. Officially right there. Morano, Hannigan, Eiler, Royer, and Griggs. And now Larry Moody making a run on the outside of Chad Griggs. Ryan Scheidt tucked in right behind him. Moody got in, got down close, just could not get the run off the corner. He's got good drive up off the corner, just not to the exit. Here comes Hannigan trying to close in on Morano. Morano is running about a lane up off the bottom, and for some reason that 32 car is getting the launch out of the corners at both ends. Now runs right to the bottom. Not quite as low as Hannigan. And the high side hustler was making the high side work. He's got company. Trevor Royer down on the bottom of the 90 car coming forward. Royer is about a 6-time DSRL sprint car champion, fixed or open setups. He's won them all, won both of them in the same season a couple of times. And he is fighting for a podium spot. He and Braden Eiler, also a DSRL Sprint Car Series champion. Front hasn't changed. Morano, Hannigan, 1-2. The battle's for third right now. Royer and Eiler are going at it. Moody and Griggs are going at it for fourth and fifth. Behind that, Ryan Scheidt. Just waiting to see what happens there as Richie Gaines and Jesse Bandy battle over 8th and 9th. Craig Silby, Dean Reynolds are battling back here around the 10th spot. So we'll go back and have a look at Eiler and Royer. Eiler now has the advantage, and he's on the podium. So Royer falling back. He's got fourth. Moody got fifth away from Griggs, and Larry Moody trying to charge in the back half of this thing. We're going to be about a lap away from halfway. This time by 14 will have been completed, 16 to go. We'll get the cross flags the next time. We don't look now, but Braden Eiler got clear of Trevor Royer, and he has closed right up on the top two. Hannigan is now within reaching distance of the 32 of Morano. Almost reach out and grab that push bar on the back. Halfway that time. Top three have broken away by 1.2 seconds from Trevor Royer. Larry Moody trying to close in on him. Chad Griggs trying to stay in touch with this front group. Ryan Scheidt is right there, and then it's a good gap back to Richie Gaines in the 8th spot. Bandy in 9th. And don't look now, but he started in the last row, and here he is. 10 spots improved. Ernie Williams, old Whiskers, making his way through the field. He's battling Craig Silby right now. Whiskers keeping it wound up on the top, drives right around the outside. He takes the spot, put him in the top 10. Morano now opens up the gap on Hannigan. 12 to go this time. Top three are in a zip code all their own, as Royer is going to be in a battle with the STR teammates. Moody's in the middle, Griggs is on the bottom, and Griggs is going to take the spot back from Moody and put him 5th. Ten laps to go. 20 laps in the books. The top three are 2.4 seconds ahead of fourth place Chad Griggs as he goes around Royer. The bottom's starting to come in this one. Top side maybe getting just a little bit blown off. Royer in up against the cushion, comes out of 4. Griggs is clear by a car and a half. Moody is hanging on right there, running through the middle. Ryan Scheidt has moved to the very bottom. Richie Gaines is on the very bottom, and Ernie Williams around the top goes by Jesse Bandy. He's up to 9th. Hard charger for the night? Absolutely. If he finishes where he is or better, going to be that 91 car of Ernie Williams. Braden Eiler has swapped lines, and he's starting to make headway on Mason Hannigan. Moved to the top. Closed in, thought he was going to stay there and go by these guys. He gets a big run right here out of 2. Now he's not able to do anything at all with it. We're closing in on the wave lap quickly. It's 6 to go this time by. Top 3 still under a blanket. Griggs, one of the faster cars on the track right now. He's about a 10th faster than the cars in front of him. He just cannot close the gap. 5 to go, the signal from the starter stand. And now Hannigan's starting to put pressure on. Gets to the inside. Morano has to give room, moves up the hill, and it's not enough for Hannigan. This time in 3 and 4, can he get around him? Hannigan clears, new leader finally with 4 to go. The little Hurricane Mason. Hannigan goes to the front. Now Eiler's going to the top side. He's trying to get around Morano. This all still 2.6 seconds in front of 4th place. Morano led from the drop. Started out front. Falling back to 2nd. He may give that up if Eiler can make the top side work in the last 2 laps here. Eiler keeps it locked in on the bottom, drives alongside, drives by the 32. 2 to go that time. Lap car right in front of these guys. That's Matt Westfall in front of Hannigan. Out of 4, coming to the white flag, Mason Hannigan. 1 more lap, and he'll pick up the win in the return. Sprint cars to Dirt Slingers Monday Night Thunder. He'll come out of 4. That's all he's going to see is a checkered flag as he clears out from behind Westfall. Hannigan picks up the season opener. Eiler 2nd, Morano 3rd, Griggs and Royer 4 and 5. Bring our top 3 around here. Park them on the front stretch. We're going to try to get some interviews. I think Mason I don't know where Hannigan went. He may be going for another lap. He likes to do that. He definitely likes to do that. So we'll wait for our drivers. Morano is there. We got to wait for Eiler. We got to wait for Hannigan to come back. In the meantime, let's get the driver in here. Anthony Morano, you got a copy.
Hey, Roger, what's going on, bud?
Apparently, driver 32 is going on. He's going to win in the big blocks and then come and podium in the sprint cars in his debut here at Dirt Slingers Monday Night Thunder 360 Wing Sprint Cars. Pretty good run.
Yeah, definitely stepping outside of my comfort zone. I don't really run sprint cars too much. But I figured, hell, we tried it with the UMPs a few seasons ago with you guys, so why not try it with 360s?
Yeah, you led pretty much from the drop, and then with about 5 to go, Hannigan finally got enough pressure and rooted you up off the bottom. How long did you know he was right there?
I saw my relative the whole race. I kind of figured he was just eventually just, waiting, and I'm sure, him and Eiler both have a little more practice in these things than I do. Like I said, don't run these very often, just enough to know that I'm screwing up pretty bad here and there. But, I was just holding on for dear life, just trying not to smoke the right rear coming out of the corners and keep the car straight and not collect anybody when I'm moving around or anything. And I saw him get his nose underneath me there and go into the corner. I was like, oh, that's the end of that. He's got me now. And Eiler did the same thing. Both got around me clean. So, hey, I can't ask for anything more than that.
Well, an awesome run, way to start things off for the whole season, man. Give me some shout-outs. We'll let you get out of here.
I got to thank my wife, Sherry, the boys here at FTM, Dean Super Air Car, Logan at Highland Lens, Swan Speed Shop, DJ Sim Shop, Bowman Designs for this awesome wrap, Expert Installation, Castaway Flagstone, MDI TV, GripHack.com, and Roger, you and the boys here doing everything for us to come out and play.
All right, man. Thanks for chatting with us, and we'll look forward to seeing you back next week, bud.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Roger.
Anthony Morano finishing in the 3rd, and now we'll grab him. We call him the high side hustler, but tonight he kind of showed us he can run just about anywhere. In his return to sprint car racing at DSRL, he's a former series champion. He comes home 2nd to bring things back to the home of sprint car racing. Braden Eiler, that was an impressive run to start things off.
Yeah, it was kind of a big plateau because once I got the 3rd, I had Mason. I had Mason to my right, but that yellow came out and he did what he needed to do. And knew I was on the bottom, and it just kind of seemed like that's where the track wanted, and that's kind of what you got out of the track. I was able to make a little bit of ground in 1 and 2, but once you get to turn 3, if you get outside of somebody, you can't really do anything. There wasn't anything really up above, and it just kind of seemed like the bottom was just that good, just with the straightaway grip and the amount of more drive that you can get off the corner.
Well, a great field to bring back sprint car racing at DSRL. What did you think of the track and all the competitors tonight?
It was a good show. Unfortunately, like I mentioned, the track kind of favored towards the bottom there once the feature got rolling, because I was wondering how I drove up the third so quick from 9th in the beginning, but no, it just I don't know if it's because of 360s or what, or it was just pretty burnt, and the bottom just really kind of prevailed tonight, it seemed like. But regardless, it was a good race. I appreciate everybody bringing this back. Just something to do on a Monday night, just have a little bit of fun.
Well, an awesome run, man. Give me some shout outs, some thank yous, and we'll let you go celebrate a second place.
Just everybody that puts this deal on, and Tyler and everybody doubles up, and we'll see you in the next one.
All
and
right,
also,
man.
congrats to Mason on the win.
Thanks for chatting with us, buddy, and we'll look forward to seeing you back next week.
Absolutely.
That's the high side hustler, Braden Nyler, finishing in second, and now we'll move on to this guy. Changes his number as often as he changes his underwear. I see him in the 57 or the 75. I see him in the 1. I see him in the 22. I never know what car he's going to show up in, but it doesn't matter. He goes to the front late. I prefer to think he was just sitting there stalking that guy in front of him for the last 15, 20 laps. And in the opener, bringing back sprint cars to the home of sprint car racing on iRacing, Mason Hannigan, that was a lot of fun to watch.
I don't know about 15 to 20 laps. I'd say probably 27 laps. Honestly, I had to work on that dude for a long time. Honestly, I was like, geez, he's killing me off 2. And, like, I was better than him off 4, but he'd kill me off 2. And I'm like, man, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And I finally opened it up a little bit. And I finally figured it out. I'm trying to run the thing like an actual wing car and keep the tires under me, and I'm like, man, I just got to give the thing more gas and stop being a little you-know-what. So I was like, all right, well, let's just give her a quarter more gas. And I finally, when I started to pick up the pace a little bit, and I got back to him, and then he was just leaving the door just barely enough open, and I did it one time, and I'm like, oh, man, I don't know if I made a mistake or not. And then I was really good off 4. I think I was killing everybody off turn 4 because I just wait and grab the grip coming off 4 on the bottom, and then he just left it open that one time, and I got underneath him getting down into 3, and he kind of slid up off 4, and I'm like, that's my only shot. So I kind of shoved her down in there, and he held his line, and I was honestly shocked that I got around him without hitting him. Honestly, I didn't know how much room I had, but
not much.
I was giving her all I had, dude.
Well, it's a lot more satisfying, and I would say probably a lot more fun when you got to earn it like that. You got to figure out how you're going to do it, and then once you do, you actually get to execute that. It's got to be a little more satisfying to get a win like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you work on the guy for, 27 laps, and you're like, man, I don't know what to do, and then you finally get around him, it's like, oh, thank God, So, and he was just good all night, honestly. Like, he was really good there early, and I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna get to this guy. And then I try the top, and he'd pull away, and it's part of racing, and you just gotta get after it. So yeah, that's what we did there, and we got the W.
Well, we're glad to have sprint car racing back at DSRL. Have you heard from any of the other drivers about a similar feeling?
Yeah, kind of. The only feeling I think we all have is we're looking for that 410, right, Roger?
Well, we'll try to get back to that at some point.
Is this like
baby steps? Baby steps.
Is this like a budget series? Like,
yes.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
We don't have enough budget.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
I was just checking. We ain't got enough budget to pay the high limit purse. No.
Not yet. We're working on that.
Oh, okay. All right.
We're waiting for the Hannigan clan to kick in for that.
Oh, okay. I was interested to hear your take on that.
Yeah, we'll see what we can get going on that. But, man, give me some shout-outs and thank yous, and we'll let you celebrate winning the opener back here at DSRL for sprint cars.
Yeah, I can't thank all the boys at Black Diamond. Obviously, been with them for a while, and it's been a treat for the past couple of years. So can't thank them always enough, and can't thank Trevor Alec, Ernie, Ryan, John, Nate. I can't think of all them boys enough. Been with them forever, so it's been a hell of a time, and can't thank Roger for putting this deal back on. And I know it's been a while, so yeah, can't thank him for broadcasting too. And hopefully we'll be back next week.
All right, man. We'll look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks for chatting with us. Congrats on a great win.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Mason Hannigan, the Little Hurricane, picking up the season opener here. Great race. It's been awesome seeing the sprint cars back. We're excited that they are back. Hannigan wins it. Eiler second. Morano was third. Griggs, with a good run, comes home in fourth. Royer fifth. Scheidt was sixth. Mooney seventh. Gaines eighth. Hard charger for the night, Ernie Williams. 12 positions improved. Good run for Whiskers after a rough start in his heat race. He comes through and comes home in ninth. Silby was 10th. Reynolds 11th. Bandy 12th. Boyd 13th. Schaff 14th. Barros was 15th. Johnson 16th. 17th was King. 18th Westfall. Jansen 19th. Shell 20th. Ostendorf 21st. And Thomason in 22nd. Several of those guys with just unfortunate issues right there about 14, 15 laps in. All kind of got together and made a mess of things and each other. And I'm sure they're going to work that out. They'll be back next week. Probably won't see it again. Should be a good one. Do not forget about tomorrow night, 8:30 Eastern, ERA, Epic Racing Association. Back at it. That is just a terrible view. Man, that is just creepy. We're just looking at dirt racetrack. Slick. And then on Wednesday night, new series, Midwest Truck Series, and that's going to be a road course for the first time. They're going to take the Craftsman truck to Watkins Glen for that one, so make sure you tune in. That is also an 8:30 Eastern start time. We'll probably go early just so we can catch a little practice, catch all the drivers, and get familiar with names, car numbers, the look of the car, so we can make this a nice, smooth transition. And then back to Thursdays, double headers with the Mighty Midgets. They kick off the 2024 D season. Still Ironman chasing, but we'll start a new season championship. We'll see if Parmley gets it, if Rogers gets it. Maybe Bo Brannon repeats. You never know who it's going to be with those guys, but we appreciate you guys being here. Hope you enjoyed both shows tonight. And if you didn't make both shows, we hope you enjoyed the show you did watch. Without you guys, there's no reason for us to do this. Without the awesome leagues giving us fantastic racing like you saw here tonight, there is nothing for us to cover, so everybody gets a pat on the back there. Till we see you guys the next time. Peace and love to everybody. Keep the rough side down at all times. Keep it dirty.